Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're looking at a lens, and it is the Sony FE 85mm f1.8 lens. And it's great value for money because it isn't particularly expensive. I'm actually got it side by side with my Panasonic, which is there, well, as close as I can side by side, with my Panasonic S5. And I've got the Panasonic S 85mm on that particular camera. So hopefully you'll be able to do a kind of comparison between what the Sony FE 85mm lens looks like compared to the Panasonic S 85mm lens. Because a very similar price point. The Panasonic, I think, probably is just a wee bit more expensive, but I don't think so. They're going to be much the same price. Although, to be fair, I don't like doing comparisons per se, because they're completely different systems. You can't decide and say, well, I'll buy the Sony instead of a Panasonic, because the Sony won't fit on the Panasonic and vice versa. So it's a kind of a pointless comparison. A good comparison would be comparing lenses that work on the same system. But hey ho, you know, I've got these two different systems and I'm comparing them for my own benefit. I want to see what the difference is between the two. Now, we all know that the Sony autofocus is better than the Panasonic autofocus. So I have no doubt that the Sony A7C, which I've got it paired with, is actually going to produce beautiful results, pin sharp, with no hunting and no pulsing in the background. So that excites me from that point of view. But on the other hand, the S5, the Panasonic S5, or the Lumix S5 as some people would call it, produces beautiful colours. It's got internal 10-bit recording. You can now output 5.9K raw signal to an Atmos recorder. It's got many fabulous video features. Built-in 10-bit Vlog. The Sony's only got 8-bit S-Log. So, you know, if you're into filming, the S5 is a great option. But just bear in mind that you may suffer a wee bit with autofocus. I think I've got it pretty much cured now. I mean, I've turned the autofocus levels right, well, not levels, settings right down in the menu. So I'm hoping that has, you know, cured or as close to curing the out of focus and the, you know, the pulsing in the background. The bokeh should be very similar between the two, because I'm shooting both of these lenses at f1.8. So that should be kind of similar in the background, and the lighting is obviously exactly the same because they're both being filmed at the same time. So, but what we're really looking at today is the Sony FE 85mm lens. And as I say, I've got it paired with my Sony full frame A7C. Now, the lovely thing with the E-mount, the lenses will work on the APS-C bodies as well. But obviously you've got to take into account a crop factor. So 85mm would be about 127, it's 127, something like that. I'll put it in the video what the exact distance is. But that makes quite a nice portrait lens. I mean, 85mm is a lovely portrait lens anyway. And I've got it for doing portraits and also for using in the studio here for my close-up camera, doing my presentations to camera. But there is one feature on the Sony 85mm lens which I really do like. It's got I'll show you in a moment, it's actually got a function button on the lens which you assign on the camera body, and you can set that for whatever you like. I've got it set for animal eye detect or human face detect, so I just push that button and it switches between the two. Whereas on the Panasonic there is no settings on the Panasonic, but it does automatically detect animal or face eyes and faces and whatever, so you don't really need to switch it, but you do on the Sony. They both come with a lens hood, as most lenses do these days. I don't think many Canons come with lens hoods. Am I right in saying that? I'm not sure. I think you have to buy, with some of the Canon lenses, you have to buy the lens hood separately. But the image quality that comes off both these lenses is really good. I'll put a link in the description below, and also here, somewhere up here or up there, I'm not sure where they put it, to my review of a Panasonic 85mm lens. So we'll concentrate more on the Sony one. I've got some sample images here I've just taken about in the garden. We can't get about very much these days, but the crispness is beautiful with this lens. It's a nice sharp image, lovely clarity. you know, you're not going to be disappointed. I mean, look at the clarity of the bark on that tree. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's go full frame here. So, and I think the colour science now that's coming off the Sony sensors, I think is great. There was a lot of criticism in the past about Sony's colour science not being as good as Canon or Fuji. I think that's pretty much eradicated now. I mean, I shoot RAW, so I can actually adjust for colours anyway, so it's not really, you know, it's not really a big deal. But again, if you look at the clarity, the detail in those leaves is absolutely gorgeous. And if I was shooting at a smaller aperture, it would be sharp from edge to edge. Obviously, if you're shooting at F1.8, you're not going to get edge to edge sharpness, because that's not the idea of it. You get a nice creamy, like you see there, a lovely creamy bokeh in the background. But the clarity and sharpness is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, very, very pleased with the clarity of this lens. Now that is really difficult to photograph. Look at the detail on the tip of this, I don't know what it is, but on the tip of this plant thing, is gorgeous. Absolutely pin sharp, beautiful sharpness. Look at that clarity of this Sony lens is stunning. And as I say, value for money, the price you're paying for it is great. Again, a very difficult plant leaf to focus on. Look at that, really, really sharp. Really, really nice. But look at the bokeh. Look how creamy that bokeh is. It is just so soft and so, you know, with backgrounds. Now I've deliberately focused on this plant pot, not on the cat. And that's great, because you can, when you're looking through the viewfinder, both the Panasonics and the Sonys, you can move a focus point to where you want. And I thought, well, I'll have a cat out of focus and I'll focus on the plant pot. And, you know, again, if you look at little Sammy's eye here, the eyeball, absolutely spot on. And that's using animal eye detect with the Sony A7C. Again, that little bird, not a real bird, but, you know, it's picked out the eye, and the rest of it is all out of focus. So I know this really isn't a video promoting Sony cameras, but they are stunning. Again, look how sharp that is there. Those berries, I think they're berries, maybe, I don't know. Dead berries, are they? Who knows? Absolutely stunning. Again, Sammy B lit his eye beautifully in focus there. Absolutely gorgeous. Again there. And look at the clarity of that eyeball. I think you know, by now you get the message. I'm really, really happy. I'm really, you know, really, really pleased with the Sony FE 85mm lens. What I'll do now, I'll show you the lens. But before I do, there will be a link in the description to where you can view these images and the Panasonic S85 images on my Flickr page. So take a closer look at them on Flickr. It'll give you much better detail, much better clarity than what you'll see on YouTube. That's why I'm only skimming through them. And you can see them at your own leisure then, can't you? So, you know, let's now show you the camera. Well, the camera, the lens, whatever. Let's take it off. Might as well leave it running. Take this off here. Oh, I've got a Manfrotto clip on it, and no cables connected to it. Right, so here we go. This is the, let me just close that a second. The Sony FE 85mm lens, fitted to my Sony A7C. I've got a monitor on the top, so you can see how compact this lens is. I will put the weight and the description, the weight in the description below, so you can actually see how heavy it is. Let me take this monitor off just for a minute. This doesn't need to be on. Take that off just for a tick. So that is the Sony FE 85mm lens. Comes with this lens hood. Nothing exciting, but you'll now see how compact this 85mm lens is. It's really, really compact. Not very heavy, and it works really nice with the A7C. It's a really nice combination with this particular camera. It would be also with the A7 III or the A7R or even the APS-C bodies. And that's what I love, as I said earlier. you can interchange them. These full frame lenses work quite nicely on the APS-C bodies. So it may be, if you invested in the APS-C bodies, it may well be worth buying full frame glass for it. So you've already got the glass when you upgrade to full frame, if that makes sense. Really, really good idea. Although you take into account the crop factor, you're not going to get a very wide lens, you know. But yeah, that's the 85mm lens. And as I was saying, it's got this function button on the side here, which is really handy. As I say, I've got mine pre-assigned for changing from animal detect to human detect. But you can set it up for whatever you like, and that's really handy. It's just basically another function button. But yeah, great design, great piece of kit. And I think it complements my Panasonic S85 quite nicely. So, and as I say, what we're looking at now is the Panasonic S85. We're looking at that because obviously I've got the other one in my hand here. So we've now, you know, looking at that. The other camera, by the way, is the Panasonic GH5. That's getting the wide angle shot just there. And then I've got my Sony A6600 just up here, picking up a generic wide shot. And then my little ZV1, which I love my little ZV1s, that's picking up these close-up shots of the camera body, the lens, and what have you. I think it's a 72mm filter thread, not so sure. 67. So it's a standard 67mm thread, a very common size filter thread. So you'll have no problem getting filters for it. And as I say, it's for Sony E-mount. Well, FE mount. It's E-mount, but it's the full frame mount. And on the side, it's also got your manual and autofocus switch on the side there. So it can very quickly and very easily switch between the two focus modes. I always use autofocus. But there we go. That's the Sony FE 85mm lens for the Sony E-mount system, particularly the Sony full frame system. And I say earlier on, you would have been able to see the difference between this and the Panasonic S85, which I've still got on the body, and that's still filming me. So look at that lovely bokeh in the background as well, coming off the Panasonic S85. Really, really nice. I do like it. So there we go. So thanks very much for watching. If you can hear a hum in the background, I forgot to turn the main lights off, and these fluorescent lights do produce a bit of a hum. So hopefully you won't be able to hear that hum. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the channel. I hope you do enjoy the channel. I love making these videos. I enjoy making them, and I'm getting some really good positive feedback from people, and it's really helping me grow the channel, and it's motivating me to produce more content. So please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you like this video and you found it useful. That's also great for YouTube and great for my channel. So thanks very much indeed, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography and audio. Cheers for now. Bye.